Minding my own business, but I have a lot of questions to ask. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in to Minding My Own Business and have a lot of questions to ask. The purpose of this podcast and YouTube channel is to hear and receive different perspectives and opinions of others in the world. It's definitely for a mature audience that has an open mind. You are welcome to email me at let's talk about it podcast3@gmail. Once again, let's talk about it podcast3@gmail.com. Now I would like to properly introduce myself. My name is Busy Bee. For those that don't know who I am, the bee that comes with the cares and concerns of this beautiful world. So let's get it started. Let's go. The topic for today will be about Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady has stated that he wanted to teach his children about failure. That's an interesting statement. First, let's go with Tom Brady. We're talking about a 7-championship Super Bowl. People call him the GOAT. They call him the goddess. They call him all types of things. That's not what I'm talking about. The failure part is what I'm speaking on. When I sit and I think about failure, I think about, I want to paraphrase my words correctly because I want my audience to understand when people begin to make statements or say things based on things that's now happening. He wasn't thinking about failure when his wife said to him, let me get my own career that God has blessed her with. But selfishly, we're talking about a selfishness side here. He has 7 rings that he's took the team to a Super Bowl. 7. Not 1, not 2, not 5, but 7. Now he decides to let his family go for his selfish reasons. Some can say, oh, that's because of the love of the game. But don't you love your wife? Don't you love your children? You chose football over your children. And now you want to talk about teaching them about failure? You taught them failure when you allowed them to see the family to split. And it's so frustrating because God loves family. You allowed, for your selfish reasons, to allow your family to break up because you wanted to win another ring. Right? Yeah. But now, since you didn't succeed in that, now you want to talk to your children about failure. That's interesting. Failure is a part of life. Once again, I say to you, Tom Brady, and all of those that are on your coattail about you being the greatest and you're this, you're that, and all of that might be true. I'm not even trying to step on that. But your children are born with a gold spoon, silver spoon in their mouths. And if you were not teaching them about failing in life, you were failing them all along. Because that's a part of life. That is what builds character. That is what builds for you to be strong. And it allows for you to see that you're not going to win in everything. So they were able to see that this year in you because you lost. You didn't win. Interesting. But now you feel because you didn't make it, now you want to talk about failure. Failure. Can I give you what the definition of failure is? It's a lack of success. That's what that is. But again, for families that don't have half or 3/4 or whatever it is that you have to offer to your children, they learn every day about failure. Your children would never understand what it's like to go to bed hungry. Your children would never understand what it's like to just be, homeless. The list can go on and on and on. But because the spotlight is always on you, your children are not going to have to do much anyway because of who you are. So for all of this stuff that you're talking about, teaching them about failure and all of this, the question would be, would have had this conversation with your children about failure if you wouldn't have won? That's food for thought. I want everyone to think about that. But again, you might be the man in other people's eyes, but what do you really are in your children's eyes? Because you allowed for what you love. I'm sure it's another word that I could really use. But again, my listeners are either agreeing or disagreeing with me. And it's for a mature audience to understand where I'm coming from. We fail our children every single day. If we really allow for our children to talk and let them really explain to us how they really feel. Yeah, Tom. I'm going to call you Tom. I don't have anything else to say about this. But once again, you failed them when you allow for your family to divide. And I don't think at any given point that your children will ever see anything else any different besides the 7 rings that you won for this world. And now that you have chose football over your family, now that's a whole nother can of worms that you've opened up for your children. And now you're going to have to explain all that. In the studio right now, I have one of my sons that would love to weigh in on this statement that Tom has made about failure. I'm not going to down anybody's opinion or their thoughts. What Tom thought is what he thought. What he felt is what he felt. And I'm only speaking on how I felt. So at this time, I'm going to pass over the mic to my son on his views, his opinions, his thoughts, his views, his opinions, his. So don't come for my son. These are his thoughts. These are his opinions. Here you go, son.
Thanks, Mom. Hey, y'all. My name is, y'all can call me JT. Brother Tom, you done messed up. Yo, kids, and this is a hunch. Your kids probably gonna grow up to hate football because of what you have done to them. Separating the family, and as a kid, just hearing your parents go back and forth from experience of my past, of hearing my parents go back and forth. Not the parents that I have now, but to hear parents go back and forth and them arguing over who's right and who is wrong, no matter what the situation is, it's hard for the kids to hear. And especially for the kids to hear that the parents are splitting up and they no longer see their mom or they no longer see their dad. That's hard for kids. And the fact that you chose football, a passion, over your own family is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Me personally, I wouldn't even think about that. It's just crazy.
It is.
But I want you to think about what your kids will think about you, knowing the situation that you put yourself in, making that decision. Because I'm pretty sure your kids wouldn't hate you, but they will look at you in a different way now. Because now they've seen that you're putting things over them. And they're your future because they're kids and they're going to have to take care of you one day. And like I said, not saying that they're going to hate you, because one day, they might come back and help you if you need help. But they always remembered the day that, well, the two special days actually. The day that you divorced your wife in front of them. Well, I wouldn't say in front of them because I don't know what the situation was, to be honest. But the day that y'all separated and the day you chose to come back and tell them about failure. Like my mama said, Miss Busy B, she told you, you failed your kids when you divorced. That's a major failure. Major. And I'm kind of frustrated just hearing that as a kid, because it's a lot of things that I've witnessed going to my school and hearing different stories from different kids. But we're not going to go into that subject. We still on the subject of failure. I've failed in my life so many times, and my life hasn't even begun. So failure is a part of life, absolutely. And it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's big. It's truly big. And my son feels a certain kind of way because he's in a loving environment. And that's all kids really want is love. They don't care about all that other stuff. They really don't. And when you show a child love and you show them patience and kindness, I always tell my children that you're a winner. When you enter a race, you don't have to always be number one. You're number one because you entered the race. But that doesn't mean that I'm telling my children that they're going to win at everything. Two different metaphors. But I had to open up the mic because so many things be going on in the world and no one really express, or they are thinking what I'm saying. And they're too afraid to say it because they think people are going to come at them. But you have to remember, everybody having an opinion. Everybody have their own thoughts. Everybody have their own mind. That's why the name of this podcast is Minding My Own Business, but have a lot of questions to ask. Because I was minding my own business. And I do know how to read. And I read that this was the statement that Tom had made. And the world went into an uproar of, Tom is right. I don't know. And then you have some people that say that Tom is wrong. But it's still their opinion. And my son had an opinion. He had a thought. And that's one of the things that my husband and I allow for our children is to be their own person, but also still pour into them values, morals, kindness, love. Mainly, we teach God in our household. So when you turn around and you say to them, or when you want to talk to them about an issue or a situation, you're their first role model. They're looking at you. So if I'm speaking to my children about failure and I never express to them that it's okay to fail and they feel that they have to keep winning in my eyesight, I'm not teaching them. But needless to say, Tom, you run your house the way you want to run it. Good luck. I'm always praying for everybody. And I mainly have you on a prayer list. You and your family and your wife. I pray that you get your wife back, because having a full foundation of a mother and a father in a household that started it in the beginning in front of your children's eyesight, that's what should end in their eyesight as well. Just my opinion. Right, JT?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on, because that's yesterday's news. Good luck, Tom. As I would always say to end off, you have to be positive in everything that you do. And some people get it, some people don't. But in this case, we get it. I leave with you this thought. Until next time, keep minding your own business, but just know it's okay to have questions. For the YouTube listeners, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe.
Spread the love.
Bzzz.
Busy Bee is out.